Ja, hallo, herzlich willkommen. Ich habe direkt
Hello, most welcome. Let me make a quick announcement. We want to ask you to keep your distance in the audience, not to huddle together too much, and maybe you should leave a few seats free. That would be nice. Thank you very much.
Est-ce que je pourrais entendre en français?
Most welcome once again here in the Festhalle at the Frankfurt Book Fair. Let me welcome you most cordially. Well, this event shall give us the opportunity to come together and to celebrate what happened in the past few days. This very year, this is something very special to meet here, because we could meet personally again and to talk to one another and even see each other. Well, regarding speaking, let me also make a technical announcement. If you need translation, please make sure that you get the right channel. On channel 1 you get German, 2 is English, 3 is French, and 4 is Spanish. Should there be problems, please indicate it by show of hands, so there are competent people around who can help you. And this is also something special here, namely we'll have 4 languages here on stage, something we also talked in the preliminary talk, because it's important to connect in literature by this means. Well, I have the big pleasure to guide you through the afternoon. I'm Sheila Wichtstadt. I'm a journalist and work for the culture channel Arte, culture TV station. This afternoon is so special because we do not only celebrate the leave of Canada and thank them for all the many facets of impressions, but we also look forward to the next year at the same time, the next guest of honor from Spain, and that's what we'll expect you here on stage 2. We'll come together, we'll meet and celebrate both countries together. So I'm happy not to sit here alone, but with 2 wonderful authors. Next to me, Dany Laferrière. He was born in Port-au-Prince, and now he lives in Quebec and Paris, and is a member of the Académie Française. Manuel Vilas is a highly decorated author from Spain, who has been awarded some Spanish and European literature prizes. And now he's commuting between Iowa and Madrid. I'm so happy to have here the 2 of you, because you represent your countries, but also because you found out in the Vorfield how many topics unite us, topics you bring with you today. The topic of the book fair has been, how do we want to live? And if you have followed the programs, we've got so many sounds, impressions, and clues, what could be an answer to this question? And, of course, the information, that it's precisely the question authors, male and female, dedicate themselves to, hence life as such, life itself. How do you view it, Dany? Please. My perspective in life? Well, sleeping and reading or writing. And if there's something what a major portion of the population here in Frankfurt shares, both with a view to the readers and the authors, is the fact that it's always great to have a place of the book where the book ranks in first position, because the book has meant so much to humanity. The big gift of the book is calmness. If you read or write, it's quiet. Imagine how loud it would be if the book had not been there for people to rest, to sit down, and to respond to one another, and this quietness. For if you read, you talk to someone who has died a long time ago. Most authors have already died, and yet we're in a discourse with them. What a magic thing to do it with people who are no longer around. That's what books make. They bring the difference. Good afternoon. How come that I write? Well, I really love life. To me, life is important in the first place, and I'm interested in literature as a mirror, as a symbol of life. I'm vital, and I'm in love with life. It seems wonderful to me. It's also a great mystery. All of us sitting here, we are living, and that's a wonder, a miracle, a great gift. Now, how to celebrate this miracle, this mystery? Well, by writing, by producing literature. And my literature comes into being from the deep love of life. Thank you very much. Well, let me come to your book, Odessa, because the storyteller returns to a place of his childhood full of joy, and in the present he has a very negative view of it. So is it a look back, something positive for you, something enriching, a contributing factor, or how would you describe this dynamism? This book, The Journey to Odessa, I wrote due to the love of life, because without love, life doesn't make sense. I loved my parents very much, both my father and my mother, and I didn't know how much I loved them until they left this life. And my way to show them my love was to write a novel full of love. Love again. Without love, we cannot make a single step in our lives. And The Journey to Odessa is a letter of love, a love letter to my parents, thanking them for bringing me into this world. And I described the story of a family from the middle classes, which is certainly universal. And I think you can understand this novel everywhere, precisely because of this reason. I described the experience of a family from the middle classes by the end of the 60s, beginning of the 70s. And the search of the past is also the search of the moment when you were a child. Odessa is returning to childhood. And it's written because of the death of my mother. And the story of the family shall be found. And the storyteller does not want to lose the memory of his family. And since it's difficult to say adios, goodbye to the family, he decides to write a book. Hence, literature to make sure that the death just takes away each and everything. Well, you read the book. What is your view of it? Digesting one's own past and reflecting about it in literature, in a book. Well, the role of literature Well, Manuel Vilas did precisely that. He told about this painful experience, how his parents died. It touches him, and so he decides to move back and return, because he also senses the loyalty to the working class at home there in Spain. Is all very personal, very precise. There's this small place in Spain, and the book is published, and then it goes to the whole world from there. People read the book, and they sense joy and pleasure because they can find themselves in the landscape which is described there. Hence, this produces emotions, and that is also the role of literature. You enter kind of a well, a fountain, you dive into it, and you try and put on light, which can also shine for other ones. That's what you do with literature. You go into the black hole, and then light is produced, and the author goes deeper and deeper into the dark, because he knows that there can also be light in darkness. Hence, there's also light in darkness. And this is precisely what the author, the writer, is doing until he finds the core of the light. Hence, you dive into yourself, and thus you help other ones. Do you want to correct me? I had the impression that the space you described there is filled with freedom and relaxation, expressing and describing things where only your own rules apply. Yes, indeed. An author, a writer, needs to observe the space of freedom. Everyone expects this, and at the same time, someone also wants to control the author, and you have to be deaf, stay deaf to that. And you need to keep this space of freedom. Well, I've wrote quite a few books. I've written for 35 years. I've written 25 books, and yet there's still this struggle to find the best way to express myself and not to be told how to go about it. It's a dual struggle. And this freedom is questioned time and again by people who would say later on, your freedom makes me even freer. That happens time and again. You need a grammar, you need a dictionary for writing, but at the same time, this is something very artificial, especially in France. There are things like subjunctive, the past, future, and so on and so forth. It's very difficult grammatical formulae. And you can learn about the tools because you need to express the sadness of the world. We need to explain where the journey should go. That is expected from us also, although we cannot answer it ourselves. Well, expressing the sadness in the world in such a strong fashion, which I've seen in the two of you. Would you say you are writers of a chronicle of the time? I mean, by Corona, we got in this terrible situation and this disappointment and frustration. So what would you say, Manuel, in that regard? Yes, indeed. Literature is the presentation of the historic time in which we just live. It's an intelligent presentation of life, of the present reality. The Dany's literature and my literature hence also the difficult history of our two countries. That means we show a different perspective of history, a very emotional point of view and angle of view, maybe sometimes even in despair. In the wake of the pandemic, well, up to now, the things presented by the media, what happens in society, in politics, in medicine, but we also need to write an excellent novel or to produce an excellent movie about the pandemic and the virus. Well, that could also be a very excellent picture, but before we cannot produce that, we don't overcome the pandemic. So if I'm asked about it, I like to give the following example. The Spanish Civil War, well, about that, there are more than 5 million scientific, historical pictures and presentations which cannot be questioned. But if you take the picture of Guernica from Pablo Picasso, you would understand after 3 seconds what the Spanish Civil War was like. The view from the side in literature and art is very important for us people, because thus we can handle gigantic historical events from a totally different perspective, different from sociology or other disciplines. I think we need a novel, an essay, a film where we can see this dystopia which you mentioned before, because there was a dystopia, and then we'll better understand what we experienced as people, as human beings. Well, in Manuel Vilas' work, he also wrote Alegría, a very joyful novel, whilst this one is rather sad. And in literature, we have to move to and fro. There are journeys, but also returns. The two poles between you move. And, well, regarding the pandemic, I rather belong to the parents of Manuel Vilas than Mr. Vilas as a storyteller. That parents don't know the large world that well, and yet they focus on the small things, the habits in life. And it's very difficult to change the habits of people. In 2010, I was in Haiti. There was the earthquake with 300,000 people injured. And yet, 2 years later, hardly anyone remembered this. That was on Haiti, as I recall. Hardly anyone remembered, although it was such a big event, not because people have problems with their memory, but because there are so many small details they are faced with on a daily note. That is much stronger than all these big events. Hence, for me, as an author, an important event at the breakout of the earthquake, well, there I left the hotel and I saw a poor mango seller. She didn't have any money, no savings, nothing to eat. She cannot feed her kids. And after this terrible, great event, which was so difficult for the whole of Haiti, she went back to the hotel 1 day later to sell mangoes, reopened her business, And everyone understood that life goes on and you forget the big events if you bear in mind that there are so many poor people outside, people who have to cope with everyday life because they don't have any other possibility. They are just forced to live through everyday life. They have to care for food. They have to care for children 3 times a day they want to eat, and for that very reason they need to live. Well, now it's up to me to hand over, to say bye-bye to you until next time, to both the Canadian and the Spanish authors. Welcome back next year. And now we would leave the stage, but before doing so, Juergen Boos, Caroline Fortin, and María José Gálvez, I want to announce they will take over on stage now, and I wish you a wonderful afternoon. Thank you for now.
Good evening. Bonsoir. Caroline. María José.
It's always a very strange moment. Yeah? Caroline and I have been working for years together, and tomorrow night you won't be there anymore.
No,
yeah?
I'll be back at home.
Yeah, and then it's María José, and the stage is hers. Caroline, we've been working, as I said, for many years together. I actually don't recall when we first met, but Canada has been on our wish list for many, many years. I'm with the book fair since 2005, and I know that my predecessors always were very, looking into Canada, because we always thought it must be something very, very special. And then the two of us met, and you said we are going to make it. Why did you think we were able to do that? Why did you want to do it? You're a publisher. You're busy anyway.
I have no idea. At first, I remember telling you I don't think it's possible. That's the first thing I said. But then I went back and met my fellow publishers on the board of Leave Canada Books that takes care of the collective stand here. And I explained what the project was all about. And they were all quite interested and surprised that it might be possible. So
you actually didn't scare them?
No, I was surprised. And I guess all the way through this project at the beginning, I really didn't think it would work. So I would go each step with the best, try to understand what Canada could present. And as I was learning more about my country, I understood that we could do something good.
What did your family actually say about the past few years?
Well, I'm from a publishing family. They know Frankfurt. I've spent years and years coming with my father and my brother as well. So I think they were surprised of how much work it was. I was as well, so I guess it's, yeah.
So they will be happy when you're back.
Oh, yeah. Everyone. The one at the office too. All my employees will be happy.
What were your expectations? What were Canada's expectations? Because you represent such a diverse country. Many languages, many nations, but feeling Canadian. It's been very complex. On top of that, the pandemic hit. Yeah, and we had another year, but on the other side, this was a huge challenge for everybody.
Yeah. At first, I think the expectation of the publishing industry, which really started this project to get everything together, what all the publishers were aiming for is a strong voice, something clear, because we were so diverse. We always, thought that it cannot be a dispersed message, something too complicated. It needs to be simple. And 2 years ago at the Handover, I said, I hope we're going to get here all as one, and I think we succeeded. And I said that it'd be great that we were going to surprise you, and I think we surprised ourselves more than anything. I think, all the Canadians had a great week.
Did we, the Frankfurter Buchmesse, meet your expectations?
Yeah, and that is very important to say thank you. And you succeeded in reconnecting the publishing industry. It's not perfect because, a few weeks ago, we didn't even think we were going to make it. So I think for this kind of project that takes such a long time to prepare, to struggle at the end because everything was changing, I think it's amazing what everybody was able to do. And it's amazing to see all the publishers that traveled and came and decided to meet. So I'm hopeful the future. We'll be back.
We'll be back. And I want to lead over to María José, since we'll be back because Spain is back. You've been guest of honor many years ago. I don't recall it, but some of my colleagues actually worked for Spain at that time already. I think it's more than 30 years ago. So you can guess how the people in our company actually tend to stay with the company, so they recall it. María José, what are your expectations? What are Spain's expectations? And there's also not one singular Spain, but there's also pluralité, there's also several Spanish languages.
Yes. I don't know if I should speak in English either in Spanish. I think I should speak in English, right? So first of all, thank you very much, Juergen and Caroline, for having Spain and me this afternoon here with you. 31 years ago, Spain was a guest of honor country here in the Frankfurt Book Fair. And 31 years later, our expectations are the highest. And we are learning a lot from the Canada experience. What we want to show is how really we are as our authors, our publishers, our agents, and even more, our whole culture and our country. We want to strengthen our bonds, our cultural bonds with Germany, and we hope that the Frankfurt Buchmesse and this opportunity is a window to show us to the world as a country and as culture and literature, of course. This is what we expect.
Yeah, I tried to translate your claim, your slogan for myself.
Okay.
And we had a little bit a difference between sprudelnd, desbordante, and schäumend. Okay. You want to explain to us, to the audience here, what do you mean with that? What's behind it?
It's so difficult to explain it. Creatividad is so easy, creativity. And desbordante is what you can't contain. Desbordante is the sea, the love, the feelings that literature puts on you. Desbordante is what is not close what is spread and deep. This is desbordante. I don't know, is spilling of spruchende. I'm sorry, I don't speak any German. I don't know is the right exact word, but this what you can't contain. This is so creative, so strong that we want to show that.
So Canada translated more than 400 titles into German. That's incredible. Congratulations once more. Yeah? And all types of books. And I think we learned about a very, how would you say, a different Canada, pluralité. Yeah? And all these books and the authors you brought here showcase this. Yeah? I think we had the most diverse presentation ever. Yeah?
Thank you. That's what we wanted. That's what singular plurality was all about.
That's what it was all about. And that's why Canada was on our wish list, because we didn't think about maple leaves this time. Yeah? We thought about pluralité. Yeah. But María José, what is your expectation? What is your main objective? What do you want to get out of it?
Of course, Spain is also a very pluriel and singulier country as Canada. I think there's a lot of coincidences between our two countries, and I'm so happy to take later the scroll from Caroline. What we want to show is that the way we create, we publish with these so different languages in Spain, these territories, these genres. We want to show that because we don't know if they're enough known abroad. So we want to bring here this diversity, but even more, this bibliodiversity. This is so important for us as a country and for our way of being and our democracy even in Spain. So we want to put the ways in order that publishers later on the 2022 be able to have these relationships and the network with German publishers, with international agents, etc., etc. And also for the culture, for the Spanish culture in all Germany, and of course the institutional relationship also. Yeah. As you see, we are very ambitious.
Yeah, does your family and your friends know that from now on you're going to work like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week?
Yeah, I think they are already regretting it. As you know, we are a team, a very big team. I want to thank all the family of the Spanish team because it's amazing all the work you are guys doing. So I'm so happy to be part of this team with the embassy, with the Instituto Cervantes, with Acción Cultural Española, of course, the Ministry of Culture in Spain. And this is a collective work. I'm not alone. I'm the visible face, but this is a team work. So we already started to work 2 years ago. And now we are working even more because we are starting tomorrow.
Yeah. María José, how can German publishers actually, because it's all about making the authors visible, yeah, showcasing Spain's culture, bibliodiversity, as you've been saying, but you want to cover all aspects of creativity. So if there's going to be music, theater, dance, film, everything. Yeah, and Canada has proven that this is a very good concept, actually, to embed books into all arts of storytelling. And I remember during this week, we talked, you're going to start immediately, actually. I think the first events are going to be in November this year, and then we're looking into early next year. We're looking into Leipzig, Cologne. Yeah?
Yes, this is, for us, Frankfurt is not just a week. For us, Frankfurt is all the whole year and even more. For us, Frankfurt is not just books and literature. They remain at the heart of this project, but it's the whole culture of Spain. We are being present all through Germany, all through our culture, our creativity, spelling creativity, and also in Spain. We want to show the authors, the publishers, the librarians, the booksellers, but of course the musicians, the theater, the cinema, here, but also in Spain, because we want the way round. Yeah.
We had the Governor General, Canada's highest representative, here with us. And actually, she stayed for 3 days. We had the Canadian night, we had the opening. She went to Berlin to meet Mr. Steinmeier. And I heard rumors that the royal family took over the patronage about this as well. Is this true?
I'm not sure I understand you. That we hope so. We think so. But the ambassador is working in that. But of course, I hope so, and I hope we have here next year the highest representation. I hope so. We're working on that. But
this would be
early.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So when you go back, let them know that Germany expects the royal family as well. So, muchas gracias. I think it's time to hand over. And this is always the sad moment. Yeah? So, it feels always odd when tomorrow I'm going to drive home and I will think, no, Caroline will be gone. Strange.
Well, so strange but good. I think after 9 years I can take a break.
Don't tell me that.
We talked about this moment, but I think you're quite relieved as well. It's been hard work for many years. Yeah. With the pandemic, we had to change all our plans.
Yeah. And I think it's not only me. I was just a small person in a very big team. So I hope to thank them all as well.
Yeah,
and I will do that when
merci beaucoup to the whole team, yeah? It's been tough, but you made it.
Yeah.
Now I hope all the team, they can let go. We are seeing each other tomorrow for breakfast, so this will be the last moment to say goodbye. But now, actually, it's a handover, and Canada will be on its way back. Thank you so much, Canada, actually. Merci beaucoup. It's been wonderful. Should I say? The phone now? I thought you wanted to show the video.
So I think that we have a small video, but first I need to do some acknowledgement. So first and foremost, I think we need to thank all the authors that came and traveled from Canada to here, and also the one at home that worked, that done some videos and were part of this project. I think you gave a sense of purpose into our celebration. So merci, Dany. And thanks to all the authors here. I think I need to acknowledge all the members of the publishing industry all over Canada, and really thank them for the hard work. Everybody worked really hard on this project. We need to thank the Canadian government, including the embassy in Berlin, and all their partners. Their support was fantastic and crucial. It's been. I need to also acknowledge all the performing artists on stage, and I don't know if Dallas is here, but I need to tell him that he's wonderful. Thank you for what you've done all week in the pavilion. Thanks to Mirari and Matan that made the pavilion possible, and I think they did a great job. I need to acknowledge the wonderful and dedicated and very efficient team of Canada FBM 2020 with their leader, Gillian Fizet. I think everybody should acknowledge. Without Gillian, I don't think this would be possible, so it's very important. So I think this is it.
Okay, now the video?
Oh, the video, yes.
There was some.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. I think most of you know this, the guest scroll, yeah, which was the symbol that it's time to say merci beaucoup again to Canada, but actually no, it's Spain's stage.
So, María, merci beaucoup pour la belle collaboration et merci pour 2021. Ça a été vraiment apprécié. Merci. All the best for 2022. You're going to be wonderful.
Merci. Merci beaucoup, Caroline. Merci beaucoup au Canada et aussi aux auteurs et éditeurs canadiens. C'est un énorme plaisir, un privilège de recevoir cette scroll de toi et on le portera avec honneur et orgueil aussi. Merci beaucoup. Ya somos país invitado de honor.
Now it's starting. Welcome, Spain. So, Maria, José, may I ask you, what's the text? What about the text which we're going to find on the scroll?
We have decided to put some sentences of some of our authors, like María Zambrano, Ana María Matute, Antonio Gamoneda, when they received the Cervantes Prize in Spain. And we choose these authors and these sentences because they talk about books, about words, about language, about the love for the books and the creation. And we are so glad that it remains in this modern pergamine. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's also debutante, isn't it? So thank you very much. It's been a pleasure hosting Canada. And as I said before, please take care, relax now after that. It will take some time. And I'm looking forward to seeing you back here because it's all about coming back and bring your authors with you. So we're looking forward to that. But welcoming Spain. Welcome. Bienvenido. Yeah. And now we have another video.
Thank you, Juergen.
There is a place where all of us carry a spark inside, a hidden part of our souls yearning to escape, a flame longing to emerge on a street, in a museum, in a forest. We feel the need to release the fire inside us, and when we do, the creativity takes over. Our senses awaken. Settings burst into color. Places seem different through our eyes. Art is all around us. Ideas start to flow one after another. People breathe creativity. They make up their own stories. There is art in motion, inspiration on the go. There is Spanish culture and literature for everyone. Stories that whirl around us, that are passed on, full of life. There is a place that lives for rhythm. Chords, pages and words that speak of experiences, that put chapters from the past at people's fingertips and open the door to the future. Creativity that expands, spreads out, speeds up. Imagining, designing and drawing the world of which we write, think and dream with a spilling creativity. There is a place where we are all artists, born to create and inspire. Existe un lugar donde la imaginación da vida a miles de historias.
Finalmente, tengo el placer de presentarles a The Spanish Brass, una muestra de nuestra creatividad desbordante también en la música. Que lo disfrutéis. Gracias.
That also shows the fizzling creativity in music. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome to this wonderful ceremony. We were backstage just following everything. It was really beautiful. So we are the Spanish Brass, and we're glad being here participating in this wonderful ceremony. We feel really proud of our country, all the book world, and we would love to bring some Spanish music for you. I think bringing music to this ceremony was a brilliant idea, so thank you for that. We just played a famous song by Manuel titled Mediterráneo, and we will go back in the history of music, the Spanish history of music, playing a piano piece written by Maestro Isaac Albéniz titled Asturias. We just recommend you that please have fun.
Ja, dann sind wir leider auch schon am Ende angekommen. Am Ende dieses schönen Nachmittags und auch am Ende dieser Frankfurter
afternoon
Buchmesse
at the end of this
2021.
Frankfurt Book Fair 2021.
Vielen, vielen herzlichen Dank
Thanks a
allen, die
lot
mitgewirkt
to
haben.
all
Danke allen,
who
die
took
gekommen
part.
sind, wie Sie
Thanks for
heute,
all.
die
Thanks
diese
to all
Buchmesse
for
wirklich sehr
coming,
besonders
like you
gemacht haben.
today. You really made
Jetzt
this
bleibt es an mir,
book fair a
auf
very
Wiedersehen
special
zu
one.
sagen.
Now it's
Kommen
up
Sie
to
gut
me
nach
to say
Hause.
goodbye.
Alles Gute.
Have a good trip back home. All the best to you. Take care.